Hi everyone, my name is Martin Yadav and welcome to Martin Academy. This first video will be about variables. So let's start. I'm using Visual Studio Code over here. You may use any other editor, like BlueJ, JEditor, anything else. Now this is like, I love to use this one, so therefore I'm using it. To talk about variables in Java, so I will be writing a program for you, and while writing that program, step by step, I'll be telling you that which all variables are there in Java, and in your ICSE and ISE, what all things are expected from you. So this video will be common for ISE and ICSE. So throughout this 20 to 24 videos series, some of them will be common for ISE and ICSE. So anyone can go and watch this video. So let's start. So I'm gonna write a sample class. Okay. So before going forward, everything in Java should be in a class. Okay. You have to remember this thing that you cannot write anything outside class. So therefore, I'm making a first class over here, class sample. While writing this thing, I will be actually explaining you that what all variables we can write and what all different variables are there. But before actually going further, that in the description I will be putting link of all the files which I'm using, and you will be getting a link to Notion also. So this is my Notion, how it looks like. You will get a link to this, and then you can actually go and see what all things I have used, like links or maybe programs. If you click on this thing, it will actually open a Word file for you, and it will contain whatever I'm teaching right now in the video. For reference, you can go and see it over here also. Okay, on the left hand side you will see a content thing. You just click over here and you will go to the main content, whatever is written over here. So I've made it a little bit easy for you. I have actually put all the points which I'll be explaining in video in point form over here, and there is a code snippet also, so that you can understand whatever things are important. Okay, so let's go back to our Visual Studio Code. Okay, so first one is your instance variable. Now what do you mean by instance variable? Whatever you get while creating an object, what all things you get in an object are called your instance variables. Now where do you write your instance variable? You write your instance variable inside your class but outside all the functions. Okay, so how will it look like? So if I write int a over here, so that becomes your instance variable. Okay, so let's write down over here instance variable. Okay, what do you mean by this thing? These are single line comments. You should know what do you mean by single line comment, what do you mean by multi-line comment. So let's write a multi-line comment also. So this program is about variables. That's my multi-line comment. Okay, fine. Let us save this by name of same as class. So let's copy this, Control S, and I will go to my D drive and I'll just save it over here as sample.java. Okay, so this is saved as a Java program now. Now you will see that it shows me different color, so that makes program a little bit easy. This may not be there in BlueJ. Oh, it is there in BlueJ also. It shows you different colors, like where you're going right, where you're going wrong. So whatever keywords are there, that will be in different color. So it follows a color code. Now the first one, int a, is instance variable. Same way I can give a char also over here, char c. This also is instance variable. So there are some points which you need to remember about instance variable. First of all, whenever you declare an instance variable, it is actually initialized with the default value. Now what do you mean by default value? For each and every data type, there's a default value which is given. So first one, for your integer, it's 0. For character, it's a null character. Okay, then if you go for float, 0.0f, for double, 0.0, like that, you go it for everything. Okay, so this is your instance variable. So let's write down this variable for this also. Okay, now where all can you use your instance variable? You can use your instance variable inside all non-static functions. Okay, Now, what do you mean by that? Let us see with an example. If I say void display, we'll directly write void display over here. So that you can see that does it have any kind of default value or not. So we'll write void display over here, and we'll write system dot out dot println, and we'll try to print A, and same way we'll try to copy this and paste it over here and try to print our C also. Okay, let's save this. Let's open our terminal. Oh, this will not print it like that. So what we'll do is we'll write a public static void main, public static void main, and inside that string, I guess. Now, why do we write this? Because this is the signature of your main function. If you don't write your main function like this, and if you try to run a Java program, not talking about BlueJ, in BlueJ they automatically create an object for you, anonymous object, and you can actually run the methods over there. But suppose that if I'm not writing a code in BlueJ, and if I'm trying to run it on a terminal, so whenever you try to run a program on terminal, Java program on terminal, you need to write public static void main like this, and then you will be able to run your program. Okay. Now, to go further, I need to create an object. So I create an object over here. While creating an object, this is the syntax. You need write the name of the class. You give the name of the object. You write equal to new, again name of the class, and this is the default constructor we're trying to call. An object is created, and I just call obj.display so that my function is called. Okay, let's save this again and go to a terminal. Now I go to my D drive from the terminal. I'm over here. I hope so you're able to see that. Okay, I'm here. Now I want to compile my program, so I just say Java C and I take my sample.java. I enter over there. If there is any error, it will show me an error over here. If there is no error, it will just show me the console back again. Okay, fine. So there's no error. So let's run the program. To run the program, this is the syntax. You need to write Java and name of the file and enter. Okay, so you can see over here there's a null character which is printed for your character. Okay, and 0 is printed for your integer. So from here it gets like it's hence proved that for your A, the 0 is the default value. For C, that's a character, null is the default value. Fine. So I was talking about where all you can use your instance variables. So you can use your instance variable inside a non-static function. This is a non-static function. Now what do you mean by static and non-static function? We'll talk about that later. But since there is no static keyword which is written in front of this function, therefore this is a non-static function. Okay. But let's say that if I try to copy this line and directly paste it inside my main function, then you can see that in front of my main function static keyword is written. Therefore we'd understand this thing that this is the static function. Okay, and as I told you that a instance variable which is not static, cannot be used inside a non-static inside a static function. Okay, so if I try to do that, it is already showing me an error saying that cannot make a static reference to the non-static field. Okay, so I should not go forward. It is actually showing me a red line over there telling me about that this variable which you're trying to use inside a static function is not a static variable. Okay, so from here it is proved that you cannot use a non-static variable or can say instance variable inside a static. Okay, instead of this, if I try to do something like this, if I say static if I say something like this static, okay, and now if I try to run my program, let us see what happens, and let us give this some number 7, okay, and control S. I don't think so it is showing any kind of error. Let's compile our program once again and run the program. So you can see that there's no error. It is actually printing the value which is given to static variable. From here it gets proved that a static variable can be used in both a static function and a non-static function. Okay, so you need to remember these points. Okay, so I actually spoke about two things over here. One is about your instance variable and second one about your static variable. So if I remove this I need to write a static variable comment over here. Okay, so I hope so you are getting it. Like, first one was instance variable, this one is a static variable. Static variable is also initialized with the default value. If I actually remove this thing, this will also show you a value 0 as a default value. Okay, let's see that also. Let's save this. Let's go back over here. Let's clear the screen. Let's go back and compile the program and run the program once again. Okay, so you can see 0 is the value which has come again. So for your static variables also the default value is given. Fine. More interesting thing which I want to actually discuss about instance variable is that if I create like more than one object in my main function, so each and every object gets its own copy, okay, of the instance variable. Let us actually see the live demo of that. What we'll do is we will remove this thing static keyword from here. We'll remove the comments also, okay, so that you don't get confused. So I have created one object over here. Inside my display function, what I'll try to do is I'll try to write one more function over here, that is void accept. Okay, we're not going to directly accept anything from here, but we'll just give some default values. So a equal to 4, also sorry 4, and c equal to, in single quotes I'll give g as the, or oh, you'll not be able to see the effect with this thing. So let's do one thing. Let's import java.util.star. Okay, and let us actually take a scanner class. Let's write down the scanner class. So scanner is equal to new scanner. System.in. I'll be explaining you in deep this class, that is scanner. Why do we write system.in inside it? But right now, just let's focus on instance variable, and I'm going to show you that effect that when I create different objects, so every object gets its own copy, and inside that own copy, it has its own value. Okay, so let us write down a message saying that please enter the number. Okay, so like that. Now we accept it. So a equal to sc dot next int, this, and for your character we'll write c equal to sc dot next dot char at 0. That will give you a character. Okay, and we'll just try to print in our display function a character and the integer value. Fine. Okay, great. So now what we do is we will be making two objects. One is your obj1, and we'll copy this and make one more object, that is obj2 over here, like this. Now using my obj1, I will be calling accept and display function. So let's change this to accept, and same thing we'll do it for obj2 also. So let's make obj2 over here and obj2 over here. Okay, we are done, I think so. So the program is ready. Let's save this program, clear our terminal. Let's go over here and run the program. Okay, so enter the value. So first time we are putting the value for obj1, so I'll just put 2 over here and t. Okay, so it has printed 2 and t, and after that I'm trying to print, or you can say give the input as 5 and r, and it is printing 5 and r. Okay, how is this happening? You can see that I am trying to call obj1.accept first and try to print obj1.display. Therefore whatever is given as an input from me is getting printed on the screen. Okay, let's do one change, so that what I do is first I accept it, both the things, and then I'll try to print it. So let's put this down. Let's control S, CLS, go to terminal, compile it and run it. Now when I try to run it, understand that first two statements are except function call for obj1 and obj2. So I will be putting 2 over here and a character as an input. So this 2 and r has gone inside my obj1's instance variable. Now whatever I'll be putting, that is 6 and f, suppose this is going to get assigned to the instance variables of obj2. And now you can see that if you see from year to year, 2 and r are the values which are coming from instance variable of obj1, and 6 and f are the values which are coming from instance variables of obj2. So from here we prove that each and every object gets its own copy of instance variable. Okay, hope so you understood it. So whatever I have explained you, everything is written over here in point form. You can see that I have given a small code snippet also over here, so that you can understand whatever I have explained in the video. You can just go and see it over here also. Okay, so we're done with instance variable. I actually explained you a little bit of class variable and static variable also. Let's go back to our video. I can say our what do you say, code editor. Now for your static variable, the second name is a class variable also. Now your class variable can be used with a class name also. Like if you want to actually, if you make this as a static variable, okay, and let's make all of them as static so that there's no problem in accessing any variable. Control C, Control V. So that becomes your static variable. Everything has become static. Okay, now one more thing. You can see it says that a static method except from the type sample should be accessed in a static way. What do you mean by that? Which this means that I'll just remove this thing, and instead of this I will say sample over here dot like this, and I'll say sample, oh my god, sample dot display. Okay, and with this I don't think so there will be any error which will be shown. Let's remove this thing. Now as I told you that static variables and static functions, okay, should be used or should be called using the class name. Now why this is so? Because as I told you that for your instance variable, every object gets its own copy, okay, but for static variables it's a common copy which is kept for each and every object. What do you mean by that? Okay, I'll be explaining you that in the next video, but for this video try to understand this thing, that again I'm repeating, instance variables are not common. They are like each and every object gets its own copy of instance variable. But when you talk about static variables, it's a common copy which is given to each and every object. This means that if an object changes a value of a static variable, then that changed value will be actually seen by any other object, okay, if he tries to access that static variable. Fine. So the demo of that will be seen in the next video. Hope so you like the video. This was the first video of this series. If this was helpful for you, you can comment it, like it, okay, and share it with your friends. Next videos will be coming shortly. I think so I'll be making 3 more videos and we'll be putting that together so that the continuity will be there. Okay, so thank you once again. This is Martin Yadav and you are watching Math to Code Academy channel.